In Michigan, with polls showing the race tightening there, Hillary Clinton will go to Grand Rapids tomorrow after she was just in Detroit on Friday. Her husband, the former president, will be campaigning in Lansing today. And tomorrow, President Obama will head to Ann Arbor. Last night, Clinton had some star power in singer Katy Perry. Clinton in the final.
From coast to coast, east to west, north to south, about who we are as a country.
After starting her day here in Philadelphia, Hillary Clinton will head to New Hampshire, where polls suggest the race is also close. Ainsley, Steve, Brian.
All right, Mike Manuel, thank you very much.
Remember the role that Betty Curry played in the Lewinsky mess? Remember, she was the one who had Lewinsky signed in on the log sheet, and she was able to be a witness that helped get Bill Clinton impeached. She was the secretary. Do we have a Betty Curry of the email scandal right in front of our eyes?
Well, we have the Clinton family maid. This woman pictured right here, she's been with the Clintons for many, many years, Marina Santos. She is a Filipino immigrant who, as it turns out, according to 1,000 State Department email that were released to the public on Friday, she was routinely asked to print sensitive and classified information. What's extraordinary about this is it went on for years, and Marina Santos does not have any sort of security clearance.
She was hired to clean Hillary Clinton's house in Washington. And aides within the State Department would send emails, classified, some sensitive, to Hillary Clinton. She would forward them on to her maid, her housekeeper, down in Washington and say, print these out for me.
You know, it's interesting because Bill Clinton went to visit the parents of this Filipino maid, recommended by, guess what? They never go away. Vernon Jordan, who also recommended some other key people in their lives, said, you got to use this maid. He went and visited the family and said, by the way, Hillary Clinton could not be Secretary of State without your daughter. Okay. Man, was he understating that?
So here's the thing. She could actually hold the key to a lot of stuff. You know, there's an Apple MacBook with all of the emails missing. There's a thumb drive missing. She could actually know where they are because she handled so much of the sensitive stuff. The New York Post has some emails included in these. For instance, this is one of them. It was marked sensitive. It was from Huma, and it said, Q&A on Libya War Powers document. Please ask Marina to print for me.
And you can see there, look at the subject. It says Libya War Powers, and then that's what she says.
So it wasn't like take the chop meat out of the freezer. Yeah. It was, could try to, do me a favor, find out what's going on in Libya.
Then here's one that was actually classified. It was to Hillary from Monica Haley. Marina is trying to print for you. All right. So in other words, all of these secret documents, these classified things, this maid saw with her own two eyes because she printed it, and she also used a highly secured fax machine that was set up in the home by the State Department.
So the room has a sensitive, secure, the house has a secure, sensitive room, and it is called the Sensitive Compartmented Information Facility. She had access into this room, which is where the fax was, which is where the emails were, but we were all talking about this down in the newsroom. We're like, this is so weird. Right. Imagine asking your housekeeper to go through your emails and print things out. So it sounds like she's more of an assistant. Yeah. She does everything. But it reminded me, remember Hillary Clinton said, what, clean my emails? You mean with like a cloth?
Well, that would be for Marina to do, and she knows all about my emails. Here's the other thing is you can't blame Wikileaks for this because these were actually released by the Department of State on Friday. So when people go, the Russians are making that stuff up. No, this is from the State Department, folks.
Also, the FBI never spoke to her. How do you do an investigation and not speak to her? That's incredible to me. What a major problem. Now, listen, give Paul Sperry credit. He's a writer here. He's done some great work through this election cycle. He's the one who found this out. A New York Post reporter went up to her yesterday and she says, I don't speak to the press. Sooner or later, you got to speak to somebody.
I wonder if the FBI is now investigating her, though, because the article does say that the FBI notes they're the ones that revealed the fax machine stuff, that she was going and printing stuff off the secure fax.
So anyway, it is a blockbuster, the fact that Hillary Clinton's classified email handled by her.
It just shows how careless she was.
The last thing is, just don't get involved in the nitty-gritty. Just think judgment. You were Secretary of State. What kind of judgment is that? If you're saying great idea, I would have done the same thing with my housekeeper. You got the right person.
Obviously, she trusted her However, the way things are set up in this country, classified information needs to be handled by people who have security clearances.
And guess what? Mainstream media is probably not going to be reporting this. No. And that's why you should stay with Fox News. We are counting down to the election. We have kicked off our 67th straight hours of coverage for you. We're going to be live starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow with Fox and Friends First, leading up to the big day and through the big day. We're going to have complete analysis and results, and we will be fair and balanced.
All right. Meanwhile,
a Fox News alert and a new threat from ISIS, the terror group calling for attacks in the United States on Election Day. This is brand new, and we're going to tell you about it. Pretty scary.
Yep. Plus, one Democratic member of the Electoral College says he will not vote for Hillary Clinton even if she wins his state in a landslide. Can he do that? The answer will shock you. To secure the presidency, or will it? One Democratic elector in the state of Washington says he won't vote for Hillary even if she wins his state in a landslide. He says, quote, I hope it comes down to a swing state and it's me. Good. She ain't getting it. Maybe it'll wake up this country. We cannot go 4 more years with either of these idiots. And he says he's heard the same from other electors across the nation as well. The question is this legal? Could they do it? Here with more is Fox News contributor Lisa Booth. Good morning to you, Lisa.
Hi, Steve. It doesn't sound like he's going to be happy about any of the results.
Right, I know. So we know that it's not popular vote that wins the presidency. It's the Electoral College. You have to hit 270. We just think that if whoever wins our state, all those electors go to that person. No.
Well, that's not the case. And actually, what's interesting is with this gentleman, there's actually no federal law or constitutional provision that requires these electors to vote for the candidate who wins the popular vote in their states. However, it breaks down a little bit differently when you look at the states. There's 21 states that do not require the electors to vote for their party's designated nominee. Right. There's 29 states that do. But that being said, Steve, it's only minor fines and misdemeanors. So in the instance with this guy in Washington, he would only face a $1,000 fine.
And clearly, it's worth it to him. These people who can do whatever they want to, even though they are members of the Electoral College, they're called faithless electors. Throughout history, we got a graphic to show you. 71 of them have changed their minds because the original candidate, for instance, have died. 3 have chosen to abstain. 82 have changed due to personal initiative. And that's what this guy is talking about.
Which is very interesting. And what's interesting, too, Steve, I mean, look, let's face it. This has been a hotly contested presidential cycle. You have 2 candidates with very high unfavorables. And so, you know, this is interesting times we're living in these days, Steve. OK, here's the thing. It's kind of a screwy setup the way it is right now. I get the Electoral College. There are a lot of people who don't like it, think that the popular vote should determine the president of the United States. But then when you get into the subset of who these electors are and that they can change their mind, let's say my entire state went in a landslide for Hillary Clinton and he's going to say, nope, I'm not going to be part of it. Maybe they should rethink this thing. It does. And I think this is obviously sort of a protest from this guy, both, I think, to the Electoral College and obviously to the candidates themselves. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter. So, right. And what's really interesting, Steve, if things come down to the wire on Tuesday night, which is where things are right now, you know, this could throw things off. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
And speaking of throw things off, you're going to come back in a couple of hours and we're going to talk about what would happen if in the Electoral College it's a tie, 269 to 269. Then there's a whole process, because it has actually happened a couple of times back in the olden days. But there is a process, and people will not like it when they see it.
No, and we'll get into that, too. So.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Good to have you on this Sunday. All right, meanwhile, a shocking act from the president on the campaign trail linking Donald Trump to the KKK.
You accept the support of Klan sympathizers before you were president? That's how you'll be when you're president.
Really? What happened to going high when they go low, as it turns out? Is that fair? Well, we got a fair and balanced debate coming up. Plus, if Hillary Clinton wins on Tuesday, what would the U.S. economy look like over the next 4 years? Stuart Varney has an idea. He's going to join us shortly. You're watching Fox and Friends. We're live from New York on a Sunday morning.
Welcome back to Fox and Friends on this Sunday morning. A quick few headlines for you, starting out with the Fox News alert. U.S.-backed forces in Syria kicking off a mission right now to retake the ISIS capital of Raqqa. This as Iraqi forces continue their battle to reclaim the stronghold in Mosul. In the meantime, here at home, that terror group is calling for attacks on Election Day, a group monitoring their activity online, uncovering a 7-page essay telling jihadists to attack Americans at the polls. And an officer shot twice in a gun battle with a robbery suspect. The Topeka, Kansas officer struck in the stomach and the leg during a chase. He's now in stable condition and is expected to recover. That suspect also hit in the shootout. He's been hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. And the White House goes on lockdown after Secret Service spots a man carrying a firearm. An officer confronted
in the Lewinsky mess. Remember, she was the one who had Lewinsky signed in on the log sheet, and she was able to be a witness that helped get Bill Clinton impeached. She was the secretary. Do we have a Betty Curry of the email scandal right in front of our eyes?
Well, we have the Clinton family maid. This woman pictured right here, she's been with the Clintons for many, many years, Marina Santos. She is a Filipino immigrant who, as it turns out, according to
Ann Arbor, last night Clinton had some star power in singer Katy Perry. Clinton in the final.
From coast to coast, east to west, north to south, about who we are as a country.
In Michigan, with polls showing the race tightening there, Hillary Clinton will go to Grand Rapids tomorrow after she was just in Detroit on Friday. Her husband, the former president, will be campaigning in Lansing today. And tomorrow, President Obama will head to after starting her day here in Philadelphia. Hillary Clinton will head to New Hampshire, where polls suggest the race is also close. Ainsley, Steve, Brian.
All right, Mike Manuel, thank you very much.
Remember the role that Betty Curry played